Imagine this. You're in a relationship with a man, and no matter what you do, he never seems truly addicted to you. He enjoys your company, but something is missing. An invisible force that makes him unable to resist you, unable to get you out of his mind. Now, what if I told you that there is a secret, something almost no woman knows about how to make a man not just love you, but become addicted to you? And before you assume this is about manipulation or cheap tricks, let me be clear. This is about understanding a fundamental psychological truth that most women ignore. But stay with me until the end, because the final revelation will be the most powerful of all. Once you understand this, you'll never see relationships the same way again. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to Female Red Pill, like this video, and drop a comment below. Have you ever felt like a man was slipping away even when everything seemed perfect? Let me know your thoughts, because what I'm about to share will completely change your perspective. To truly understand why men become addicted to some women and indifferent to others, we need to break away from the conventional myths about attraction. Society teaches women to be good girlfriends, always available, always giving, always prioritizing the relationship. But this is exactly what kills desire. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that the women men obsess over are often the ones who seem just out of reach? The ones they feel they have to chase to earn? This is not an accident. It's human psychology at its core. Let's bring in Robert Greene, author of The Art of Seduction. In his book, he explains that the greatest seductresses in history understood one simple principle: attraction thrives in uncertainty. The moment a man feels he completely owns you, that there is nothing left to discover, his mind disengages. This is why some of the most powerful women in history, from Cleopatra to Marilyn Monroe, understood the art of keeping a man constantly wanting more. But let's go even deeper. Studies in behavioral psychology show that unpredictability creates emotional addiction. This is why gambling is so addictive, because the rewards are random. When you always know what's coming, you get bored. But when there's an element of surprise, your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical that makes people addicted to their favorite foods, hobbies, or even substances. Now, apply this to relationships. When a woman is too predictable, too available, too eager to please, the man's brain registers her as safe, but not exciting. He may respect her, but he won't crave her. This is why the traditional advice of being overly accommodating fails miserably. Think about it. When a man knows exactly how you'll react, that you'll always say yes, that you'll always be there, what happens? He stops trying. He stops investing. And worst of all, he stops valuing you. So what's the first step to making a man addicted to you? It's something counterintuitive. Create a sense of controlled unpredictability. This doesn't mean playing games or being manipulative. It means having your own life, your own priorities, your own sense of purpose that isn't tied to him. When a man sees that you have an energy that exists independently of him, he begins to view you differently, not as someone who needs him, but as someone he needs. There's a psychological concept called the reward uncertainty principle. In simple terms, people become more obsessed with things that don't always reward them consistently. This is why someone can lose interest in a person who is always too available but chase after someone who is sometimes warm, sometimes distant. It creates tension, and tension fuels attraction. But here's where most women get it wrong. They either go to one extreme or the other. They're either too available, texting all the time, adjusting their schedules, dropping everything for him, or they try to play hard to get in an artificial way, which comes off as fake and exhausting. The key is balance. You must be just unpredictable enough to keep his brain engaged. Let's consider Esther Perel, one of the most well-known relationship therapists. In her work, she explains that desire exists in the space between closeness and distance. The moment there is too much certainty, desire dies. She describes how people fall into the trap of trying to make their relationships too safe, too structured, and in doing so, they kill the very thing that makes relationships exciting. So, here's the truth. Men become addicted to women who make them feel a constant sense of anticipation. A man should never feel like he fully has you, because the moment he does, the excitement disappears. But this is just the beginning. If you think unpredictability is the only factor in making a man addicted to you, you're mistaken. There's another layer, something even more powerful, something that makes a man feel he can't live without you. And that's exactly what we're about to uncover next. Now that you understand the power of unpredictability, let's take things even deeper. If unpredictability keeps a man's brain engaged, what makes him emotionally dependent on you? What makes him feel that irresistible pull, like a force he can't explain, that keeps him coming back no matter what? The answer is simple: emotional imprinting. To understand this, we need to look at the science of addiction itself. Studies on emotional bonding show that addiction is not just about pleasure. It's about highs and lows, moments of tension and release. This is why people become addicted to roller coasters, extreme sports, or even toxic relationships. The emotional spikes create a deep, lasting imprint in the brain. Now, I'm not saying you should create a toxic dynamic, far from it. But what most women don't realize is that men don't fall in love through constant comfort. They fall in love through emotional intensity. Dr. Helen Fisher, a leading expert in the science of love, explains that romantic attraction activates the same parts of the brain associated with craving and obsession. And what triggers those parts of the brain? Emotional highs and lows, the moments of deep connection, followed by moments of distance, the feeling of needing to work for your attention, the uncertainty of what comes next. Think about the relationships that have affected you the most. Were they the ones that were always stable and predictable? Or were they the ones that made you feel something? Excitement, longing, even frustration at times. The truth is, emotions create memory. The deeper the emotional impact, the harder it is for someone to forget you. This is why some women, even if they aren't conventionally the most beautiful or successful, leave a lasting mark on men. Because they understand, whether consciously or unconsciously, how to create emotional imprinting. But let's be clear, this doesn't mean causing unnecessary drama. It means understanding how to create moments that leave a powerful emotional impact. And one of the most effective ways to do this is through contrast. Contrast is the principle that makes movies, music, and art so emotionally gripping. Imagine watching a film where every scene was the same tone, the same pace. It would be boring, right? But when a story takes you through highs and lows, intensity and calm, you become invested. Relationships work the same way. If everything is always the same, there's no emotional charge. This is why women who know how to keep a man addicted don't just focus on being nice or easygoing. They create experiences that trigger strong emotional responses. They know when to be playful, when to be mysterious, when to be deeply intimate, and when to pull back just enough to make him crave more. And here's a secret that few women understand. Men don't fall in love when they're with you. They fall in love when they're away from you, when they're thinking about you, replaying moments in their mind, wondering when they'll see you again. This is why creating space is just as important as creating closeness. Let's go back to Robert Greene's The Art of Seduction. He describes how the greatest seducers in history mastered the art of strategic absence. They knew that constantly being available made them too familiar, too predictable. But by pulling away at the right moments, by letting the other person feel their absence, they created a void that the other person felt compelled to fill. Now, does this mean you should ignore a man or play mind games? No. It means you should never lose your own sense of self. When you have your own passions, your own life, your own sense of purpose, you naturally create that dynamic. He feels that you are someone he needs to chase, not someone he can take for granted. But here's where most women get it wrong. They think that playing hard to get means acting disinterested. That's a mistake. True attraction isn't about pretending not to care. It's about making a man feel that he has to earn your presence. When he feels that being with you is a privilege, not a given, his mindset shifts. And this brings us to another crucial element: investment. Psychological studies show that people value what they invest in. This is known as the investment principle. The more effort someone puts into something, the more attached they become. This is why people who spend years building a business are deeply connected to it, because their time, energy, and emotions are tied to it. The same applies to relationships. If a man never has to put in effort, he won't feel deeply connected. But if he has to work for your time, your attention, your affection, if he feels that being with you requires something from him, his level of emotional attachment skyrockets. This is why the women men become obsessed with are never the ones who just give everything away for free. They create an environment where the man has to contribute. He has to step up. He has to prove himself. And the more he invests, the more addicted he becomes. But this is still only part of the puzzle. There's one final layer, something that goes beyond psychology. beyond strategy, something that taps into the deepest instincts of a man and makes him feel like he has no choice but to be drawn to you. And that's exactly what we're about to uncover next. Now that we've uncovered the power of unpredictability and emotional imprinting, it's time to reveal the final key that makes a man truly addicted. This is something deeper, something that speaks to his very core as a man. And it all comes down to identity reinforcement. Let me explain. Every man, consciously or unconsciously, is looking for a woman who reinforces the most powerful version of himself. Not just a woman who loves him, but a woman who makes him feel more like the man he aspires to be. Think about it. When a man is with a woman who constantly makes him feel weak, controlled, or insignificant, what happens? He pulls away. Even if he loves her, even if he's attached, something inside him resists. He may not even understand why, but he knows that something feels off. On the other hand, when a man is with a woman who makes him feel strong, capable, and respected, he can't get enough of her. She becomes a source of power in his life. She is the one person who makes him feel like a king, not because she worships him, but because she sees him in a way no one else does. This is why so many men become obsessed with certain women, even when those women aren't the most beautiful or the most outwardly impressive. It's not about looks, it's about how she makes him feel about himself. And this is where most modern women fail. They focus so much on what they want from a man, how he should treat them, what he should do for them, how he should behave, that they forget the most important truth. A man stays addicted to the woman who makes him feel like a man. Dr. John Gray, in his book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, explains that men have an innate desire to be providers, to feel useful, to feel like their presence matters. When a woman constantly criticizes, controls, or competes with a man, she unknowingly emasculates him. And the moment a man feels emasculated, his attraction starts to fade. Now, does this mean you should just agree with everything a man says, never challenge him, or pretend to be weak? Absolutely not. A high-value woman challenges a man in a way that inspires him, not in a way that diminishes him. Let's look at some of history's most captivating women. Women who held the hearts of powerful men. They were not submissive pushovers. They were women who knew how to challenge a man while still making him feel strong. One of the best examples of this is Josephine Bonaparte, the wife of Napoleon. She was known for her ability to both captivate and command the attention of one of the most powerful men in history. She never begged for his love, never tried to control him. Instead, she created a dynamic where he felt both challenged and deeply valued. This is a secret few women understand. A man will chase, obsess over, and stay loyal to the woman who makes him feel like the hero of his own story. And this is why admiration is the strongest aphrodisiac. Admiration is what makes a man feel seen. It's what makes him feel that his energy, his ambition, his drive matter. But here's the key. It has to be genuine. A man can sense fake admiration instantly. So how do you do this the right way? The first step is understanding his core values. What drives him? What does he take pride in? What makes him feel alive? When you tap into this, you unlock something deep within him. He starts associating you with the best version of himself. And that's when true addiction happens. When he realizes that being around you makes him feel more powerful, more confident, more himself than he's ever felt before. This is why relationships where the woman constantly nags, belittles, or dismisses a man's ambitions never last. Because whether men say it openly or not, they crave respect even more than love. And this brings us to the final revelation, something that takes all of these concepts and ties them together into one unstoppable force. Because once you understand how to tap into a man's deepest psychological and emotional needs, you no longer have to chase him. You no longer have to wonder if he's losing interest. You become the one woman he can't stop thinking about, the woman he needs in his life. And in the final part of this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to apply all of this in a way that keeps a man permanently hooked, without ever compromising your own power. Now that we've uncovered the psychology of emotional imprinting, investment, and identity reinforcement, it's time to bring everything together. Because here's the ultimate truth. A man doesn't just become addicted to you. He becomes addicted to how he feels when he's around you. And that feeling is not something you give to him directly. It's something he discovers through his own experience with you. This is where most women get it wrong. They think that making a man obsessed means doing more, giving him everything, constantly proving their love, making sure he knows how much they care. But that's not how addiction works. Addiction happens in the chase, in the mystery, in the process of earning something that feels rare and valuable. And this is why the final key to making a man truly addicted is presence and absence. A man must feel your presence in a way that lifts him up, that energizes him, that makes him feel alive. But he must also feel your absence. He must experience what it's like when you're not there. He must have the space to crave you, to miss you, to feel the void of your energy. If you're always available, always predictable, always giving, he never has to think about you. He never has to feel that deep longing that makes him realize your worth. And this is why the women men can't forget are the ones who know how to balance these two forces. They give just enough to make a man feel deeply connected, but they never give so much that he takes it for granted. They create powerful moments, experiences so intense, so full of emotion, that they burn into his memory. But they also pull away just enough to let those moments sink in. Think about the most powerful songs, the most captivating movies, the most unforgettable stories. What do they all have in common? They don't just throw constant stimulation at you. They create pauses, silences, spaces between the intensity, because it's in those spaces that desire grows. And this is where your ultimate power lies, not in constantly trying to hold on to a man, but in knowing exactly when to lean in and when to step back. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but if I pull away, won't he lose interest? Only if there was never real interest to begin with. A man who is truly invested, who has already felt the emotional highs, the challenge, the admiration, won't simply walk away when you create space. Instead, he will move toward you. He will feel the loss of your energy, and he will want it back. And here's something most women never realize. When a man chases you, when he fights for your attention, when he puts in effort, it rewires his brain. It makes him more addicted, because now his own actions are reinforcing his attachment to you. This is why playing too safe in relationships, always being available, always giving, always trying to please, backfires. It removes the tension, the excitement, the mystery that keeps a man engaged. And this is why the women who understand how to balance presence and absence are the ones who create lasting, undeniable addiction. Now let's bring this all together into something you can apply right now. If you want to make a man truly addicted to you, here's what you need to do. Create emotional imprinting. Give him experiences that make him feel something. Don't just focus on comfort, focus on contrast, on moments of intensity that he will never forget. Make him invest. The more effort he puts into you, the more attached he becomes. Give him reasons to chase, reasons to prove himself, reasons to earn his place in your life. Reinforce his identity. Admire the qualities he values in himself. Make him feel like a man in your presence, and he will crave you like nothing else. Master presence and absence. Be fully engaged when you're with him, but don't be afraid to step back. Let him feel your absence. Let him miss you. Let him realize how much he needs you. Because the moment a man realizes, on his own, without you forcing it, that you are the one woman who makes him feel alive, he will never let you go. And that is how you make a man addicted to you. If you made it this far, I want to hear your thoughts. What part of this video resonated with you the most? Let me know in the comments. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe to Female Red Pill, because in the next video, I'm going to reveal the biggest mistakes women make that push men away without them even realizing it. You don't want to miss this one.